So my family and I went mini golfing, and I was having a great time. Well, until Kaden made his first shot. From that moment on, Kaden thought he was an expert and tried to give me some tips. I told him I didn't need his advice and to back up. He didn't think I could score, but I showed that little chicken nugget that I could. Then he said he was better than me, and I wasn't going to back down from a challenge. At first, he was winning, and then I took the lead with a hole-in-one. But when we got to that putt-man course, neither one of us did well. We took our final shots to see who won, and to our surprise, Destiny won. Turns out, while Kaden and I were competing against each other, it was in God's will for Destiny to win. Like this video if you're happy for her. So this is my son Kaden, and his room was a mess. So I decided to build his dream room. The first thing I had to do was get him out the house. So I sent him and Destiny on a fake scavenger hunt. While they were doing that, I started on his room, and it wasn't easy. Kaden's room was a complete mess. He even had random bottles of ketchup. Then I had to take his bed apart to make room for his new bed. Kaden was finishing up the fake scavenger hunt pretty quickly, and I was running out of time. Luckily, Destiny took him to get some ice cream, which bought me a little bit more time. Although it was hard, I got done right before they came home. Click the video below to see how his room came out. So I was just leaving my son Kaden's doctor appointment when he suddenly ran away from me. I tried to catch up to him, but he was way too fast. He was upset about going back to school and didn't want to listen to me. I chased him around the whole plaza, but he kept running. I didn't know what to do and was starting to panic. I thought about calling for help, but then I remembered that Kaden responds well to games and challenges. So I decided to turn our chase into a game of tag. I started chasing him again, but this time I was tagging him and saying, "You're it," when I caught him. Kaden started laughing and playing along, forgetting about his worries for a moment. We played tag all the way to his school, and then Kaden realized we were there. He begged me not to make him go in, but I told him he had to. And then he tried to run away from me again. But this time, I grabbed him and threw him on my back as I carried him into school. Let me know in the comments if you think I should have let him stay home. So this is my son Kaden, and he's really excited because today's his birthday and we're taking him to Dave & Buster's after school. I told him to calm down so he wouldn't get in any trouble. And right after I dropped him off at school, I got a call from his teacher, and she didn't sound too happy. Apparently, Kaden was mouthing off, pop-locking on his desk, and was way too hyper to calm down. So I told her to put Kaden on the phone.
If you don't sit your little down, we ain't going to Dave & Buster's.
When he came home from school, I gave him 2 more reminders that if he did anything else, we weren't going to Dave & Buster's. And as soon as we got there, I caught him standing on the basketball game just like he was standing on his desk. I told him to get down, and this little McNugget smacked me in my face. I chased him all around, and when I finally got him, I carried his little butt right out the store. Let me know in the comments if you think I overreacted. So my son Kaden usually wins every game he plays, but today I could tell he wasn't having that much luck. So I bet him ice cream if he won the game. He tried his best, but he lost, and I found it so funny. A few minutes later, I saw him playing another game, and this time I bet him $10 if he won the game. He lost, and I was 2 for 2. For the rest of the day, I kept on making bets with him, and he lost every time. Watching him finally lose was so funny because he never loses games. Since his luck was clearly gone, I bet him anything from the gift shop if he won the game. And out of nowhere, he got his luck back. Turns out he was just faking the whole time, waiting for me to bet him something that he really wanted. Like this video if you ever scammed your parents. So I was just about to eat my pineapple and mayonnaise snack when I overheard Kaden playing a video game that had cursing in it. I asked him if his game had cuss words in it, and he said no. I figured it was just my imagination, but then I heard another curse word. I realized Kaden was lying to me, so I told him I was taking the game away. All of a sudden, Kaden jumped up and ran out the house. I had no choice but to run after him, but by the time I got outside, he was nowhere to be found. I searched everywhere. He wasn't down the street, he wasn't on the side of the house, and he wasn't in the alleyway. I was about to call the police, but then suddenly I heard some noises coming from the abandoned house next door. I hopped over the fence and went inside. I checked the bottom floor and didn't find him, so I went upstairs. Although I didn't see him, I could hear footsteps every time I moved. And then I realized it was Kaden hiding from me. He tried to run away from me again, but I wasn't having it. Like this video if you ever ran away from home. So my son Kaden was excited because his YouTube award finally came in. I was so proud of him. But then he asked me if his award could go up on my award wall. I worked really hard for all of my awards and I didn't want to share my wall. So I told him no, and he wasn't happy about it. So his little self came up with a plan. He took his award out of the box, waited until I was taking my nap, and swapped my award with his. When I woke up from my nap, I realized it was past the time that I dust off my awards every day. And as I was dusting them off, you already know whose award I came across. Mr. Kaden's. I went off, telling him to take it down. But then he cried to Destiny about it, and she told me to keep it up there. Like this video if you ever took something of your parents. So I play my drums every single day. And one thing that I love more than my drums are my special drumsticks. One day I took a break to eat my mustard and apple snack. And when I came back to my drums, my special drumsticks were missing. So I ran to Destiny and asked her if she touched my drumsticks. And she said no, so I asked if the baby touched them. And then I remembered she can't even walk. So that left only one person, Kaden. I asked him if he see my drumsticks and he started laughing. That's when I knew he did it. He said he really didn't and he just laughs when he's nervous. So I had no choice but to use another pair of drumsticks. But they just weren't the same. So I realized I couldn't give up on finding my special drumsticks. So I searched the whole house for them and I still couldn't find them. But then I heard a drum beat coming from my garage. And when I opened up the door, it was my dog Snoop. He was the one who stole my drumsticks. But I was more shocked about the fact that he could play the drums. Subscribe if your pet can do something cool. So Destiny and I went to the beach when all of a sudden I had to go to the bathroom. I ran and got my shirt and started searching everywhere for the restroom. I stopped and asked an employee and he told me where to go, but his directions led me back to the beach. So I had no choice but to take a nap. But then I realized I still had to go. Then I found a trailer and knew it had a bathroom, but no one answered. So I hopped on a tram car to take me back to the hotel. And at this point, I was really about to pee on myself. When we got there, I hopped off and started running, but it was too late. As I was running, I had an accident on myself. Let me know in the comments the last time you had an accident. So I was just getting ready to watch the solar eclipse when my Eclipse glasses accidentally flew into the pool. I panicked and realized I had no other way to safely view the eclipse. So I quickly searched online for a way to fix the glasses. And someone said I can dry them off by laying it out in the sun. But then the glasses caught on fire. So I had no choice but to pour water on them again. The eclipse was about to get started and I was running out of time. So I tried to shake the water off the glasses, but then they ripped apart. So I grabbed some glue to mend it back together, but then I got glue on the lenses. I sat on the side of the street devastated that I was about to miss the eclipse. But then I realized I had a whole pack of Eclipse glasses. So I ran back in the house and searched everywhere for them. But when I found them, they were stuck together. I finally managed to get one loose, but by that time, the eclipse was over. Like this video if you've seen the eclipse today. So Destiny and I decided to go jet skiing. We were having a blast. The waves were amazing. The breeze felt so good. And I found out how to unlock the fastest speed. Then we seen some of our friends and we waved to them. But that caused our jet ski to slowly flip over. I was so scared because I thought a shark was gonna come and eat us. So I quickly climbed back on top, but Destiny was nowhere to be found. So I rode back to shore and told all of our friends. Everyone went into the ocean and started looking for her. I didn't want to just stand around, so I started my own search. Then I ran into this guy and he said she might be on the other side of the beach. So I ran as fast as I could because I wanted to find my little chicken nugget. But when I got there, I couldn't believe it. She was riding a horse in the ocean. Like this video if you ever been lost.